Alright guys, welcome to another beer review. It's a sticky, messy, greasy and slightly itchy clueless drinker. Actually just been up in the loft, so and it's really warm still. Very humid and muggy, so I needed to sit on the floor, obviously, because it's a bit of a shithole. And this is the only angle where you can't see a mess behind me, even though I think there's a bit of it, yeah, whatever. Who cares, Peter? Nobody gives two flying shits about that sort of stuff. So I got the fan on, needed to cool down, was in the middle of a beer review, and I've been interrupted. That's two beer reviews that I've done today, both of them interrupted, so I've had to reshoot them. And I fucking hate doing that. So, yeah, anyway. And it's a big beer as well. It's like a big hyped beer, so I wanted to be on point, do you know what I mean? I wanted this to go absolutely swimmingly, but to keep the water-based analogies, I'm literally up shit creek without a paddle. So, yeah, this is take two. Already tried the beer, loved it, not gonna lie, but I will try and give tasting notes and that sort of stuff. So we're going over to the Veil once again. Doesn't happen often, but once again, thanks to the McKellar Beer Club, I get to try some absolutely stonking beers, and I'd imagine this is sort of a whale. You know, it's not you know, an endangered species type whale, but it's a whale nonetheless. So when you do see it out in the wild, you know, it's a sight to behold. And I said I'd stop the water and aqua related puns, but no, I probably won't. But yeah, so we're looking at the Greenferrari from the Veil Brewing Company. Keep cold, drink today, recycle or die. I agree with that sentiment. If you're going to ignorantly destroy the world by littering, fly tipping and stuff, I think you should be put to death. And I can't think of a better deterrent, can you? We'd all recycle if we were threatened with death, I suppose. I jest, of course. I'm in one of those little passive-aggressive, basic bitch sort of moods, so it might come across in the video. But yeah, fantastic looking artwork. It's basically just a lovely sort of racing green label with a really nice sans serif style font. Very classic yet contemporary, and it just really suits it. So this is a double India Pale Ale, clocking in an 8% ABV in a 16 fluid ounce can. And yeah, so I think this is the second Veil beer that I've had, and the other one was from Beer Club Box. And actually, it credits the artwork. So design and illustration is from Scavenged Cross. I do apologise if I've completely butchered that, but it's quite hard to read. Links will be down below to the artist as well as the brewery, and of course McKellar. Well, speaking of which, if you're interested by any of the McKellar Club or BML beers that I've had over the past few months, my referral link is always in the description box, so if you feel like getting yourself a little bit of a treat, a little bit of a discount on some world-class beer, use that link. Helps you out, helps me out, and that's my shill moment, and that was okay, wasn't it? I mean, you're not really paying me, so it's the best that I could do on short notice. Okay then. But yeah, I'd love to be in the back pocket of a brewery. I really would, especially like McKellar, one of my favourite brewers. There's a potential trip to Copenhagen with my good friend James from Rampant Line Beer Reviews, if I can get that arranged. Well, we're going to Sweden as well, but yeah, going to Denmark, which would be just fantastic. Getting to try not only great breweries like McKellar and Tuol and Bruz, but also getting to go to like War Pigs and all the other, you know, fantastic beery shenanigans, which often tend to get overlooked. But yeah, barbecue food from War Pigs. Can you think of anything better? But anyway, now that's in the back of my mind and I'm distracted. It's a welcome distraction, but it's also depressing at the same time because I really want to visit these places. Anyway, but yeah, so if you're interested, my referral link is down below. And yes, if any breweries or bottle shops or web shops are looking for someone to promote the shit out of their brewery or company, then feel free to contact me via the email address you can find on the Cluestring page, or via one of my many social media outlets. And please, please. I jest, of course. But yeah, so the beer, as you can see, already in the glass, and no, that's not fruit juice, ladies and gentlemen. That's a beer. Never gets old, he says, as he's never made that joke ever on his channel, for good reason, because it was a shit joke. It wasn't even like that purposeful, like Stuart Lee or Norm Macdonald style shit anti-humour. It was just not funny. But beer in a glass, and that is hazy, it's murky, it's turbid, it's whatever descriptor you want to use. It's bold, it's juicy looking, it's got that like chicken stock vibe, but at the same time it's very peachy looking, it's got that like mango juice and grapefruit juice vibe. And I was saying when I was initially doing it, it reminded me of an innocent orange juice that I had, which was, included all the pulp in there as well, and it had like blood orange and stuff, and it pretty much looked identical. It really did. And so I was salivating at the mouth as soon as that was pouring in the glass initially. But yeah, just look how chewy and dense that looks. But at the same time, bright as well. But it looks absolutely fantabulous. Word of the day there for you folks. And I've spilt it all over my pants because I can't swirl a glass. I've been doing this for such a long time now, but I still can't swirl a glass properly. Or review beers, for that matter, let's be honest. Anyway, self-deprivation aside. Self-deprivation or deprecation? Peter, shut up and just look at the beer and talk about it. It's got about half a finger's worth of a slightly off-white head. It's got some of those like sort of like orangey, yellowy hues to it. But it just looks wonderful, doesn't it? Really, really does. So let's give it a sniff. I just want to smell this all day. I want that bottled. It's like Tom Ford. Do a collaboration with McKellar, please. Because I love Tom Ford and I love McKellar. And if they made like a New England style IPA, like eau de toilette, I would be over the fucking moon. I really, really would. Why that's to hand while I'm sat on a floor, I will never know. But like I said, it's a mess in here. So just bear with me. Stop judging me, for God's sake. God, people make me sick. I'm joking. That's my attempt at being like Bobby Lee. See, I've been watching these like podcast comedians recently. Even though Bobby Lee's been in the industry for years doing fucking awesome stand-up. But have you noticed all these like stand-up comedians like doing all these podcasts now? And it's like just, they sort of like rotate on each other's shows, which are all entertaining. But when you're hearing the same stories and the same jokes, I've never understood why like comedians bring their jokes from on stage into interviews. It just doesn't make sense to me. But I love them anyway. Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, Joe Rogan, Joey Diaz, Chris D'Elia, Norm Macdonald, Bobby Lee, so many funny people. But going off topic again, loads of mango, loads of passion fruit actually. It's almost got that sort of like green savoury avocado sort of note, which still has that sort of like tropical vibe to it. A little bit of citrus in there, blood orange, loads of grapefruit, loads of pink grapefruit as well. Quite a fair bit of resin, almost, which is a lovely aroma in itself. And then you've got that like slightly savoury, dank, garlicky, oniony sort of aroma, but it's not too earthy or too green. Do you know what I mean? I think this beer has mellowed out quite nicely. Because it's so nice and gentle. You know, it's not in your face. It's bold enough to make an impression. But it's not like one of those loud, obnoxious sort of like parody of them former selves beers. Do you know what I mean? Because I think we can take these New England IPAs a little bit too far, where it's like I'm literally paying for alcoholic orange juice. I could just buy orange juice, put some vodka in it. It's the same thing. I think we've got to that point, which, don't get me wrong, every now and then they are amazing. I can't think of anything better in the summer months, but I'm craving like bitter beers again. And this, you get it on the nose, like that oily sort of like skunk resin marijuana sort of aroma. And it's also got that sort of like slight caramel-like aroma, and it all works together. It's all like singing from the same hymn sheet, do you know what I mean? In perfect angelic harmony. Anyway, I've talked so much this beer review so far, talked so much shit, I should say, that my throat has dried up, so I need to give it a taste. Cheers. It tastes even better than Take One. It really, really does. Now that it's sat and breathing in the glass, that's just an absolute marvel. It really is. If you want a bold, chewy, innocent smoothie / innocent juice body, I can't do that whole clicking thing with your hand like that, but imagine I was doing that. It's so on point. It's absolutely pure fire, bro. Velvety, it's silky, it's chewy, not too heavy. That alcohol is masked disturbingly well. I would always usually say like wonderfully so, but I've come to that point where a beer like this can be just consumed in a matter of minutes, and you should not be drinking 8+% beers in a matter of minutes. It's like that with Imperial Stouts now. Some of them, they're gone in like 10 minutes, and it's like, that was like a 14% beer, you absolute animal. Do you know what I mean? So, as great as that is, because there's no harshness, they're so dangerous. They're absolutely ridiculous nowadays. He says after only being like a beer review for like 3 years or so. God, I'm such a pretentious twat at times. It's beggar's belief. Just look how denser that has become now. Oh, it's just phenomenal. It really, really is. So let's have another taste. There's like a spicy tone in there now. Now that all of the stuff in the can's all mixed together and put in the glass. Loads of dank garlic, onion, resiny, sweet. It's like pine needles, and you've got your hands sticky, and if you were to like just rub your face in them, I'd imagine that's what that'd be like. I've never done that before, but it's so nice. But it's still got those tropical flavours, but it's not too sweet, it's not too fruity, it's reined in, it's mellowed down, it's mature. It's a mature New England IPA, if that makes sense. Lovely bitterness on the back end, which is so welcome with beers like this nowadays, I find. It's just absolutely wonderful. It really, really is. I'm coming to appreciate these more reined in examples of the style, as opposed to like the sort of like really bombastic, and that's a key word I've been using a lot recently. Bombastic has become the new fundamental for the clueless drinker, it would seem. I'm so quick-witted sometimes, but yeah, it's not like it's not obnoxiously fruity or sweet, which is great. Again, don't get me wrong, I love them, but it's great to actually this is actually a beer. You know, it's not just innocent smoothie that I've paid ridiculous amounts of money for. But yeah, and it's just that there's a real art, obviously, to brewing. We know that it's an art form. It's one of the oldest and one of the most long-standing and respected. But it's so easy to just throw hops at a beer. Like, let's TDH it, let's QDH it, do you know what I mean? Um, a quadruple dropped, double dry hopped QDDH IPA, QDDH Dipper, or a Nipper for Milkshake IPA. Yeah, all the letters. But yeah, it's so easy to just like, we're just gonna throw shit tons of hops at this beer and just see what happens, and you'll get like really beautiful, genuinely fruity, drinkable beers. But you can tell that they've like just taken the time and like considered this beer. Just give me a sec, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It really, really is. So I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. It's a beautiful beer, highly recommended. It's the gentleness of the beer that I really, really appreciate, and yeah, phenomenal stuff. So, and it's actually one of the best beers that I've drank this year. Wonderful, wonderful stuff from the Veil. So happy I got to try it. If this was fresher, it would probably be a bit too green, but it has mellowed out beautifully, and it's just a satisfying drinking experience, and I want more of it, and I'll be definitely taking my time with the rest of it. So if you've tried this one, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If you've tried anything else from the brewery, of course, give me your recommendations, and yeah, check out McKellar, check out the Veil. Use that referral link to get yourself a discount on your own beers, and if any of my friends with fellow beer tubers have reviewed it, then their links will be down below as well. Thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you later. Cheers.